Of course, let's get interactive on the many issues we are dealing with this afternoon here on the Pulse, on X Spaces, on YouTube, on Facebook. Your comments are welcome. My name is Elton Brobe. Of course, 3 Indian nationals have been arrested in a joint operation by the Ghana Gold Board and national security operatives for attempting to smuggle several kilograms of gold out of the country. Now, in addition to the gold, large sums of cash in Ghana cities were also seized during the coordinated crackdown. The operation, which took place in Kumasi and Anyinam, the eastern region, is part of GOLDBOD intensified efforts to combat illegal gold trade and enforce the Ghana Gold Board Act 2025, Act 1140, which strictly prohibit unauthorized gold export. Now, speaking to the media, GOLDBOD's media relations Prince Kwame Minka confirmed the suspects were arrested separately in 2 locations and emphasized GOLDBOD's commitment to rooting out smuggling syndicates in the gold trading sector.
You remember that we issued a statement and some warnings indicating that by the 30th of April this year, all foreigners were expected to exit the local gold trading market. And prior to this day, our team busted 3 Indians who were operating within the local gold trading. And when I say operating within the local gold trading industry, they were buying and selling, like now under the new laws, which is solely the reserve of GOLDBOD. So as a result of that, they were arrested and then arraigned before court. And as it stands now, because what happened with regards to them did not occur at a time where we had asked that foreigners should exit the local gold trading market, we have decided, upon hindsight, to allow them, as in repatriate them to their country of origin so they can unite with their family. And that is not to say that any foreigner who will fall foul to the current rules of engagement will be let to go free. And I'm going to explain that in a short while. So just to reiterate, the 3 Indians who were arrested and subsequently arraigned before court for flouting what was supposed to be our rules of engagement in terms of the local gold trading industry, because their arrest did not occur at the time where we had issued the deadline, they would be allowed to go back to their home, as in their country. But the 3, those who were arrested, as you can see behind me, they were the first group, and the arrest occurred before. The arrest occurred before the 30th of April. I remember at that time, it was not the deadline. So the arrest occurred before the deadline. And because of that, they've been allowed to go back to their country of origin and reunite with their family. But for the latest bust, which has occurred, for them, they will face the full rigors of the law. Just like the initial one or the first batch, they were caught flouting our laws, and with them, per the arrest, and what we got to know were, some, gold counting machines and some dollars as well, cash also with them as well. And these things have been confiscated, and they are going to be made to face the full rigors of the law. As I've said on some of your platforms, if you're a foreigner and you're caught trading within the local gold trading industry, which is now the sole reserve of the Gold Board, you will be made to face the law. So with this one, unlike the first batch, who have been given a grace or a pat on the back whilst warning them, they will be made to go back to their home country. But for the second batch, they will be made to go walk the mile. In fact, they'll face the full rigors of the law. So like we did with the initial one. They'll go to court, and then when a judgment is passed, what will follow will follow. So this is a warning to every foreigner in Ghana. The rules are simple. Local gold trading industry is the sole reserve of the Gold Board. If you're a foreigner and you want to trade, you want to offtake gold, the silver lining here is for you to write to the Gold Board an LOI, and then you come do a negotiation, and then we'll help ship the gold for you. And for the locals, for Ghanaians, you are expected to as well apply for any of our licenses so that you'll be able to have that full protection from the Gold Board when you embark on gold trading in the country. So, colleagues, we called you here just to announce an update of the first batch of Indians that were caught smuggling gold, flouting our laws, and indicating to you that because the arrest did not happen at the time of the deadline, we have allowed them to, we are repatriating them to their countries, to their country. And for those who are arrested recently, because it fell after the deadline, they decided not to yield to the warnings, in spite of the numerous warnings that we had issued out on all the media platforms. And I'm sure both local and international media carried out our warnings. So I was a bit surprised hearing that some foreigners had engaged in this illicit activity. So yes, for them, they will face the full rigors of the law, and unlike the first batch, they will not be repatriated.
Right, so you will come back, and that's the head of corporate affairs with the Gold Board, Mr. Minkam, and delighted to say that he's joined me in the studio as we travel through this process for the time being again. Prince, welcome.
Thank you, Elton. I hope you're fine.
Quite some busy time in the office.
Yes.
So first, walk us through how these individuals were arrested, because I remember that, I mean, you spoke about two different sets of individuals. Yes. So let's separate them.
Okay.
Today's event, which resulted in the confiscation of gold and money, who are involved in this particular arrest?
Okay, so today's event, talk about those involved.
Okay.
Typically, I mean, as we mentioned at the press conference, 3 Indians. And just as we have indicated, foreigners are not supposed to play any role in the local gold trading industry.
Looks like they didn't get the message.
They didn't get the memo. They didn't get the message. They didn't get the warnings. And I'm even surprised because the 3 that were arrested and subsequently arraigned before court were Indians.
Okay.
And I quite remember in the office, our phones were buzzing with calls from India, with people getting to, appreciate exactly what went down with regards to the earlier story. So just as I indicated at the press conference, I was a bit taken aback that they didn't heed to that warning, but decided to embark on this illicit activity leading to their arrest. So the 3 were arrested because they were playing that role, that no-go role within the local gold trading industry. And then, just as we indicated, unlike the first ones, they will be arraigned before court, and then the processes
will start. But I realized that according to the information you provided, they were arrested in Kumasi and in Enyinam.
Okay.
So explain to me how the smuggle aspect came in, because clearly Kumasi and Enyinam is nowhere close to any of Ghana's borders.
I understand.
Right.
So, I mean, just as the earlier ones, when they involve themselves in the trading and they have the gold, they smuggle them outside the country. So their trading activities occur in these 2 areas, Kumasi and Enyinam. So they were caught in one of their usual activities, and then for which has led us to where we are, where we are expecting that they'll be arraigned before court.
So they were caught buying the product?
They were caught buying the product, and
that is illegal.
Upon interrogation, yes, they are not supposed to buy or even sell as foreigners. The buying and selling remains the sole prerogative of Gold Board.
So as a foreigner,
let me break this down. And for any Ghanaian who wants to involve himself in the buying and selling, he or she would need license from the gold board. But for a foreigner who wants to buy gold from Ghana, he would have to work through gold board in of taking the gold from Ghana.
He cannot buy from
directly from the miner. Source. Yeah, as in the miner, the miner. Being a miner, or even someone who suggests that he's a buyer or a seller. You cannot buy from.
And in this case, this is what happened.
Exactly.
They were buying from a miner.
They were buying
which is against the law.
They were buying from a miner, which is against the law. If you look at the law, the Gold Board Act 1140, sections 48 and 64 has a lot of explanation with regards to what happens to anyone when he or she is caught engaged in such an act, which is trading or smuggling.
So clearly, this is an intelligence-led operation that led to the arrest of this individual.
And that's the reason the national security was heavily involved in all this. So it's a collaboration between the national security and the Gold Board. You know that Gold Board had earlier issued a warning, and we are continuing to issue that warning, and also re-emphasizing the point that we are not going to treat anyone with kid's glove. Not this time, not ever. The first batch who have been let go is as a result of the fact
because the law had yet to fully take off.
Absolutely, and the deadline. I mean, it was not it happened prior to the deadline. Because it happened prior to the deadline, that's the reason they've been let go in that manner. You know, and of course, the repatriation is going to take the legal process. But for the second batch of arrests, which we announced today, they will go down and they'll walk them out, like I said.
All right.
So they'll be arraigned before court, and if judgment is passed and they are guilty, just like any Ghanaian will suffer for flouting the law, they would also suffer same. If you read the Gold Board Act, I mean, the part that talks about flouting of our rules and regulation, it uses a very instructive word, a person. A person. It does not say foreigner or Ghanaian, a person. And a person is a person.
Yeah, once you are caught, it will not matter whether you're foreign or
whether you're foreign or Ghanaian.
And maybe on the lighter side, in the videos that we brought to our viewers, one of them is in a T-shirt with a description, Masters of Disaster. So he was clearly in the business of causing it.
Absolutely.
But I'm also interested in their collaborators. I'm sure they didn't move from Accra or wherever they moved from to Kumasi or Enyinam without somebody telling them that I have gold that I can sell to you. So what happened to that connection there? Okay,
so in the first case, the first batch of people that we arrested, they were being fronted by one person named Salifu, and they were using a company called Unique MM to do their operations. And this latest bust, in fact, the details are a bit sketchy. I'm yet to get briefing on whether they were local collaborators. But what I know with regards to the first instance is that the local collaborator, Salifu, is also facing the law. And in due course, will come out and will speak forcefully on this particular matter. But we are again using this opportunity to sound the alarm that any foreigner caught within the local gold trading industry will not be let go just like that. It will not be business as usual. No kid's glove. And we are going to go all out and ensuring that the laws of Ghana work. Because we want to maximize national benefits from our gold. That's the whole idea. We don't want foreign players taking undue advantage of the industry. And that is what has affected the country for far too long, and for which Gold Board is here to salvage.
I mean, it's too early because your Gold Board, I mean, came into existence this year. But we have examples where we can point to and say that we can draw from their lessons. And Cocoa Board is one classical example. I think smuggling is one of the issues that they are dealing with, and it is getting difficult to deal with it on a daily basis. I remember last year, for example, the sector minister for Agric, then former minister Brandon Champon, was, I mean, unhappy with the fact that Togo, for example, is now exporting cocoa. Yet, if you go there, you wouldn't find any cocoa tree. And the smuggling or whatever beans they are exporting obviously came from Ghana. and he gave assurance of what they're doing to arrest it quite clearly. It's not working to perfection. Your board is new, but is smuggling an issue for you even as we speak?
Smuggling has and will always be an issue. And smuggling is one of the main areas, or one of the main canker that we want to root out. And that's why if you look in the law, if you look at the law, I mean, I was quoting section 47, 48, which deals extensively, section 49, which deals extensively with smuggling. It talks about the fact that the Gold Board shall, in collaboration with relevant institutions, conduct a random audit of gold service provider, deploy enforcement teams at strategic border points and export terminals, and utilize drone surveillance and artificial intelligence-driven monitoring to detect the illegal movement of gold.
Are you doing this already?
So
because I know that the office is new.
Yes.
You may not have presence in all the border towns.
Yes.
So how are you implementing this aspect of the law?
We are implementing this using the law. And a clear example of the results of this implementation is what you are seeing today.
Great.
Where 3 Indians have been busted. So the 3 that were busted, adding up to the initial one, makes up for 6. So now 6 foreign nationals have been busted for engaging within the local gold trading industry. So it's something that we are keen on, ensuring that, look, we get the best of results for Mother Ghana.
And it's important because, in fact, this week, for example, we're told by the Deputy Finance Minister, Thomas Ampem-Darkom, that so far, the export that the board has made runs into a little over $2 billion United States dollars. And the expectation from government is that Gold Board will undertake at least $1 billion of exports every month. And that is significant in terms of revenue generation and stabilizing the city. So no room whatsoever is being left for anybody to exploit the system.
That's right. And that's, I mean, rightly said, and that's exactly what we're doing in terms of these developments that we are putting out there today. So this is not just to say that, look, we're organizing a press conference and then talking about something that is abstract. We've shown you evidence of what these guys were involved in. I mean, the gold bars, the gold that they were almost taking outside our country, we've confiscated them.
Are you able to put a value to it?
I'm unable to put a value to it, but there's a lot.
And the money that was seized as well,
your cameras were there.
Right.
And it's quite a lot of gold. I mean, I tried holding just a bag, I mean, just a little bag.
And it's quite heavy.
And it's quite heavy. I mean, I almost broke my arm, literally, raising that particular gold. So it's quite a lot.
And the money that was seized, to how much are we talking about here?
I'm unable to put a figure to it, but I mean, your reporter was there, Carlos was there, he saw it. I mean, a bag full of money. That's what we are talking about.
And so
some counting.
And so the commodity gold and the money will be used as evidence in the prosecution?
Absolutely. And just as the investigators indicated at the press conference, under normal circumstances, exhibits are not meant to be unwrapped. But because the media wanted to see the content of what had been wrapped in a parcel, we decided to open it for everyone to see. And so it's been duly closed, and then we're going to present it before court.
The punishment regime in all of this, is it left to the discretion of the judge, or the law makes it clear that when arrested in the circumstances as we are reporting, this is what must be handed down to you?
In fact, the law states explicitly exactly what can be done to anyone caught smuggling gold. I mean, to the extent that when we value your gold multiplied by 5 times of the value, that could be slapped on you as a penalty. And then there are prison sentences that are also attached to these actions as well.
But so far, no Ghanaian is facing prosecution for some of these things.
I can tell you that Salifu, the gentleman who was in the middle of the first saga, who was fronting for the 3 Indians, is facing the law. And in due course, in due time, will come out and speak about Ghanaians who are fronting the foreigners. My boss and CEO, Samejan, is pretty keen on that. And he feels that, look, the system must be cleared of any form of dishonesty.
Right. The other matter is about pressure that may likely come upon you as you undertake this exercise. the persons involved are not Ghanaians. And usually when this arena is open, there you see diplomatic pressure being brought upon the states. Sometimes, I mean, we can reference Osafo and Aisha 1. Is it already happening?
I've not heard or seen any instance of undue pressure from any quarters. But what I can say as a patriotic Ghanaian and a former journalist and still a journalist is that, look, we are a sovereign country, a country that has laws, a country that is bent on ensuring that its laws work effectively to inure to the people of Ghana. So regardless of whatever pressure that may come, as far as this current leadership is concerned, I am able to vouch for them that, look, the laws will be implemented regardless of whatever pressure that will come. We are bent on ensuring that we maximize national benefit from our gold, our mineral resources, and regardless of whatever pressure that will come, we'll ensure that this is that. But of course, you can trust the diplomatic prowess of our foreign affairs minister to mitigate that when we get to that bridge.
And Prince, before I let you go, let's quickly touch on the licensing. There was a deadline that was set the last time you came to, you educated us on this. In terms of people applying, is it encouraging? How many do you have? And then are you vetting them to grant these licenses?
I can tell you for a fact that as it stands now, we're beginning to do due diligence on a number of people that have applied for the various forms of licenses. And as it stands now, there are 4 that we are issuing: the aggregator license, the self-financing aggregator license, buyer license tier 1, and then buyer license tier 2. Last time I explained all. Right. And for anyone who wants to understand any of these licenses and what the requirements are, you can go on our website, goldbod.gov.gh, and read details of that. But people are trooping in, people are applying for the licenses. But again, the deadline for the issuance of these licenses is on the 21st of May, 2025.
For both local and foreign?
No, as for the foreigners, they are not getting licenses.
But they play a role.
The role they play is to buy from us.
From the board.
Or offtake from GOLDBOD. But for the locals, for us Ghanaians, you would have to apply for the license on our website. When you get to our website and you click on the licensing, or you click on any of the category of license that you want, it will take you to an application portal where you get to fill the form. And then...
And in terms of vetting, what exactly are you looking out for?
We're looking out for the documents, the documentations that we've asked applicants to provide. We would do a due diligence on them, and then the various questions that we ask, for instance, the assay equipment, the SRF equipment, how many do you have, what's the state of it, which you are instructed to provide. We'll do a due diligence and see if the answers that you provided are correct before you be granted.
We're also looking at the situation where people, some entity may hide behind a Ghanaian.
Especially those who would want to front for foreigners.
Exactly.
All that has been taken.
But me, as I'm sitting here with no experience in this area and I want to go into it, I'm allowed.
With no experience wanting to go into gold trading.
Right.
Well, there are layers of it. So depending on what you want, that would determine which license you would go for in order to be able to involve yourself in the gold trading in Ghana.
All right. Prince, we are ending. Any final words before you go?
My final word is to all foreigners. Ghana operates an open market economy, right? Free market economy. And Ghana is a lover of every national everywhere in the world. What we are doing is aimed at ensuring that the right things are done. So let us all abide by the regulations. Foreigners are not supposed to buy or trade in gold in Ghana. Your only avenue is for you to come to GOLDBOD and offtake from GOLDBOD. That's all I have to say for now.
And before you go, how is your boss doing, Mr. Samidjampi, in the midst of all the media storm around this?
Which storm?
The one about the dollar going out.
Oh, there's no storm. There's no media storm.
But how is he doing?
My boss is doing very well. As a matter of fact, he's excited with this latest development that we've been talking about. He's excited about it. He's focused, and his vision is to ensure that GOLDBOD works And one day, we'll tell a story and we'll look back and say, we came, we saw, we conquered.
This time, bring us gold. Prince Minka is the head of corporate affairs with the Gold Board. Prince, thank you so much for coming through.